All right, how are you?
I'm good, man. Good to be back here in the studio with you guys, man.
Yeah, you all better after the bubble guts?
Oh, yeah. I'm feeling good now. I mean, drinking Corvus, all that good stuff.
Yeah, it was a virus or something you ate? Or?
It had to be something that I ate.
Yeah, that's
what I mean?
Quick turnaround.
Yeah, it was quick. You know, I'm just
BGs ain't nothing to play with.
Better safe than sorry. You call in.
That's true. That's true. Shime said earlier that Drake Maye is already getting fantasy points in fantasy football in advance of this week. I don't know who knows what, but is it May time as far as you're concerned?
Yeah, well, got to call Mayday. Mayday, come on in.
Yeah.
It's that time. But I was like, 5 games. I think I said that earlier.
Yeah.
But look at the protection, guys. Let's just talk about how bad of an example of a football game in both those teams was. It wasn't just the Patriots that looked bad. God damn it, Miami looked bad too. You know what I mean? That was just bad football all the way around. But it's time to let the young boy go out there and play, understanding that they got to pick up on that protection. They don't have much protection. So I see where Coach Mayo was going with it by not throwing that boy into the fire, because you can't protect a vet. You know what I mean? So you can get a little gunshot, but that offensive line, defensive line, they need to fix that immediately.
Well, not defending the offensive line, but don't you feel like more so this week than previous weeks, it was on Jacoby Brissett and not on
he holds on to the ball way
not
too
on
long.
the protection?
Yeah. I know they're called coverage sacks, but he's got to
get, bro.
He got to get to the point where you got to let your nuts drop, and guess what? Every now and then you got to throw the ball before the guy.
Well, call the plays then where you can get it out quick. I mean, obviously he's dropping back and they're getting to him. The offensive line is not protected.
But there were times when he had time to throw. He's just so gun shy on turning the ball over that he's not even willing to risk a throw unless he sees his guy wide open. But that's not the NFL.
Listen, I hear this too when it comes to arguing for Jacoby Brissett, the play calling. So is your issue more Alex Van Pelt than it is Jacoby Brissett?
You always got to put it. Everybody quarterback get it all the time, but look at the offense.
Okay, but if that's the case, you don't fix it by putting Drake Maye in this week.
But Gerard kept saying yesterday, like it was a breakdown in execution. So that falls on Jacoby. That doesn't fall on the play calling.
Right. No way. Execution doesn't necessarily mean the quarterback. It could mean the offensive line play, executing and getting your assignments. I mean, they are getting to that man so quick. I would blitz him every single time until they figure it out, and they haven't figured it out. Even in Drake Maye is gonna have a time. He's gonna have a time on his hands because he's not being protected. And the only thing that can happen is he either step up and show some promise and get some confidence, or it can go the other way. And we've both been around long enough to see that when you put a young quarterback in the game and he's not doing anything, now you got the pressure of everyone coming in at you. Man, it's hard to perform
but at this point in time, you're the number 3 overall pick. And I look at it like this team stinks. They're not making the playoffs. It's now like put him in to get him as much experience as possible.
Now's the time.
Now's the time to get him. So then when this season's over, in the offseason, he can now sit down with the coaches, self-evaluate where he is and say, here's what I need to work on. Here's what I need to do better. Right. Here's the mistakes that I made. Here's what I would do different in this situation. And the other thing I talked about was just to see his developmental growth mentally from week to week. Is he still making the same simple mistakes that he made in week 6 that he's making in week 8?
Right. He's going to get better. Once he get in, he's going to have his rookie mistakes. Like I said, the quarterback position is very hard to pick up at this level. But the offensive coordinator, you got to get your boys up front together. They need to call Scarnecchia back on something. You know what I mean? Have them come in for a couple days a week, to get these boys ready, man, because your 3rd overall, like I said, he's sitting in there. You're going to have to play him. You're going to see what he has to do. You do not want to get him hurt. You know what I mean? You don't want to let him lose confidence. And also, you got to get him some damn talent. I'm still trying to figure out who's these receivers that we got. Somebody got to say it.
We don't know who they are.
I don't either.
Because they don't throw the ball. I don't know how good Jalen Polk could be.
Yeah, but they also all need to step up. If you believe the fact that there's reports of them teetering on a mutiny because they want Drake Maye in there. Well, if you want this guy in there, then you better protect him.
Hold on. How are you going to teeter on a mutiny and you losing, getting your ass whipped? Come on, man. Okay, my bad, Shine. Hey, but look, how you go? You can't mutiny and call any. You can't picket when you ain't got nothing to picket for. You know that don't make that don't make no sense. You know.
You know who's doing all the picketing? It's you've been around long enough to know, like I've been around long enough to know. It's the receivers, and the receivers are upset because they ain't getting the ball. They're the biggest voices in there.
Now, if you had somebody, let's say Randy Moss,
okay,
Devontae Adams,
all right,
Tyreek Hill,
all right,
then you gotta, you can rally the troops and maybe, hey guys, we gonna do this and we gonna call a picket. But what'd you say his name was? Pope. Jalen Pope. Name me another one.
Pop Douglas.
Okay, Pop Douglas. Y'all go out there and pick it and say something. You're going to be standing out there by your damn self. Ain't nobody following y'all.
But that's the talent they got, though.
Exactly. So guess what? You can't pick it till you get some talent. You can't sit there and even make an argument because you haven't done anything. If you're making this quarterback better and he's just not getting it, you're catching balls and you got numbers, that's one thing. But no one is going to listen or follow a guy that's on, damn near out 1 foot out the door anyway.
I hate this argument because it's the NFL, and so it shouldn't matter. But when it comes to the confidence of Drake Maye, have you put yourself in a bad spot? Because if you are going to start him, you're going to start him against a really good Texans team?
I would have waited till after this game. You know what I mean?
Okay, but then you're going to London.
Huh?
Then you're going to go to London. So
you can blame it on the jet lag when he don't play well.
And plus, Jacksonville's not that good.
No, Jacksonville they ain't great. But I say this is the time now, Greg, that you have to put him into the game. You can see what he's gonna do. We all understand that you're likely not going to the playoffs. So if you do have a chance, let's give it with the young boy. But okay, this is a rebuilding year. We all understand that. We just expected you to compete a little bit better, be a little bit more competitive. You know what I mean? But outside of that, it's going to be a whole revamp again because a lot of these guys won't be here next year. We had teams where you might lose 1 or 2 guys and they replace, but you're going to get rid of 7, 8, 9, possibly so-called core guys with this team.
Well, Greg, you were right when you said it should have been last week against a crappy Miami team with no quarterback is when you should have put Drake Maye in and gave him the call. But now you're at the point of basically, listen, we got to throw you in the deep end, baptism by fire, whatever cliche you want to call it. We need to just throw you in there and just say to the kid, no matter how many mistakes you make, you're our guy. We understand it. We want to see you improve week to week in small areas.
Do you think Curtis, Ty, Wiggy, Courtney, Shime, do you think what has gone on in the last 24 hours with Jabrill Peppers is another reason, fan-wise, perception-wise, to start Drake Maye because you removed the narrative there?
I don't think it's fan-wise. I would say that if I'm Jonathan and Robert Kraft, it would be a great way to move the attention away from
it. I mean the fans' attention.
Yeah. Totally.
This is a great time for that because, so much negativity is surrounding what's going on right now. The allegations, we don't know what's true and what's not true, but putting Drake Maye in the driver's seat will definitely take some of the pressure off, and you will spin it that way. You know what I mean? And people are going to go back to
Curtis's lead this morning. I don't want to speak for Curtis, but Curtis, your lead this morning was the way Mayo addressed that on this show yesterday. You didn't think was the best.
Yeah, he spoke with him. Gerard Mayo told us he spoke with Jabrill Peppers after he was arrested. And I asked if he was still on the team, and Gerard Mayo said, once you get all the facts, you'll understand it, but I can't speak further, or something to that effect.
We don't know, essentially paraphrasing, but we don't. Well, Shime, you could probably find it, but we don't know
all the information.
And
to me, if I am Gerard Mayo, and I may completely trust Jabrill Peppers, and he may be getting wrongfully accused of something horrific, but until I have the other side's info, I would just simply say, we want to wait and see what happened here. We want to collect all the information before we make a judgment. Until then, Jabrill Peppers will be out of the facility. That's how when you're talking about strangulation and assault against a woman, I just
Right.
don't think you want to have any part of that.
Right. I mean, him leaving the building, however you handle, maybe he didn't, articulate it the way that most people may have wanted him to articulate it, but it's still allegations. No, know this. I'm not, taking this side because, no man should put his hands on a woman. Period. Point blank. Period. You know what I mean? But it's still allegations at this point. And I was saying something earlier, and like I said, this is no way defending him. But I've seen a situation, with a teammate, and we were supposed to go back to training camp, and we rode home together. We lived in the same community. I go and pick him up to get back to training camp for meetings, and next thing you know, the girl's banging on his door. Police end up coming. He called the police, and as soon as they got there, she said he hit me.
Was it Tom Brady?
No, it was not Tom Brady.
Okay.
No, it was not Tom Brady. And I want to bring this up, but I'm just saying, for an example, they took him to jail. I had to go back to the coach and say, hey, I was there. He did not put his hands on her, da-da-da-da-da. But as soon as he got in the police car, what did she do? She looked at him, stuck her tongue out, and flipped him the bird and said, and it was really messed up. But I happened to see it, and I was the witness. So, of course, nothing happened. But I'm not saying whatever happens with him, you got to see what it really is, because sometimes, it goes down there like that.
Listen,
but if you put your hand on a woman, you wrong as hell, and he should get reprimanded for it.
It's hard in these cases to figure out what really happened, because it's a he said,
What's
she said.
what's the allegations?
The allegation is, from the police report, is that they were being intimate, 4 a.m., involved in intimacy.
Yep.
And her phone rang, and it was a dude that was calling during the act, and that upset.
So what came on the song? Genuine or something came on?
And that upset Jabrill Peppers, and then that's where they had an altercation. He says that he told her to leave, and that she fell. She was intoxicated and fell going down the stairs. She says that he grabbed her around the neck and did horrible things to her, and that's so.
So basically, Jabrill's supposed to be her boyfriend, and the side dude
what was it? Was it a ringtone? What came on there?
I'm guessing it was just a name.
But I'm saying though, how are you engaged in intimacy and hearing the phone ring?
Yeah.
You must not have been doing too well because you were worrying about somebody's damn phone.
Honestly, it happens happens in Canton, Massachusetts, apparently all the time.
They can't hear the phone ring.
It's a butt dial.
Yeah.
Right.
But she got one of those rings, like my
Man, she might have had a ringtone that wasn't his.
No,
and
no,
had
the ringtones nowadays where it's like your kid's calling or the wife's calling. It'll tell you who's calling. Maybe the ringtone was like Steph Diggs is calling. He was like, what?
But don't the New England Patriots have to say,
Greg, is it true that your ringtone for Lindsay is "My Heart Will Go On"?
I should have. I don't know if I knew how to set up a ringtone.
We could do that.
Technology-wise,
Yeah.
I would do that.
I don't think anybody's doing that no more, Greg.
We've got to merge your iPod Shuffle to your phone at some point.
You do that, they're gonna really look at you as being a boomer.
But how do you go from that over a phone call if you're supposed to be intimate with somebody, consensual, to be like that? Don't sound right to me.
I feel like we're burying the lead here, which is that however it happened, she is alleging that something awful happened, and so if you're the New England Patriots, don't you have to say, you gotta stay away until this is settled in court?
Because the precedent was already set in the league with so many others, including, with the Ray Rice situation, not to bring up, his situation, but the precedent has already been set. So I think that keeping him away from the building, away from the distractions, put in Drake Maye so the focus will go back to football until the investigation, until the trial. I think that would be the best thing to do. So
that could be months down the road.
But what I said is, if you're the Patriots organization, it's a much better look if you take him out of the building and it ends up not being anything, if
Right.
this video is that his defense team says
Right.
that they have, then if you play him and it turns out that he strangled a woman, hit her head up against the wall numerous times, threw her down a flight of stairs, and then locked her out of the house naked.
Hey, and if he did that, he need his ass whipped. I'm gonna say that right here. If anything like that, anything closer like that happened, he need to get reprimanded, ass whooped. Where's a brother? Where's a daddy?
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. But if it's something that's a false claim, you know,
Right.
yeah, just get out the building,
Yeah.
and then everything will be okay when you come back. But unfortunately, you have to go through all the ridicule and the media and the speculation right now. But hey, I wouldn't even want to come to the building. I wouldn't want to sit there and distract my teammates,
Right.
And
Right.
be there
And
in the
be a
meeting, like,
distraction.
and then have to tell everybody and people looking at you sideways. So he shouldn't even want to be down at the building.